As I returned to Dead by Daylight, I quickly ran into a problem. Perks. They are core to understanding the game, and the sheer number of them makes the knowledge required to even be average at the game staggering. In order to digest and learn this information, I have decided to play one match with each one of the perks, trying to make a build based on that one perk, going from A to C, as well as theory crafting and ranking the perk based on my current understanding of the game. So we're going to start this video off with the letter A, and the first perk in alphabetical order is A Nurse's Calling. A Nurse's Calling is, unsurprisingly, a nurse perk, and the description reads, the auras of survivors who are healing or being healed are revealed to you within 28 meters. So essentially, it's wall hacks for you versus people that heal. I deliberated for a while about which perks to run with a Nurse's Calling before landing on this gem of a build. A Nurse's Calling, Lethal Pursuer, Corrupt Intervention, as well as Eruption. The idea being that since Nurse's Calling in my mind is a chase perk, I wanted some slowdown. And I also wanted some more detection in order to actually get some injures going in the beginning of the game. So coming into this game, my idea was that I was going to use a Nurse's Calling to essentially make them feel like they could never heal by constantly keeping them injured. So here in the beginning, I see them with the Lethal Pursuer, and I'm gonna hit this Jake real quick, and I'm gonna get the virus on him, and I'm gonna get the injure on him real fast, which is great. Already got the tier 2 whip, and I'm going to leave him here in order to go pressure the generator in the middle. If you remember in the beginning of the game, Lethal Pursuer saw 3 of them heading towards this spot, and here you see them all working on the same generator. Managed to get another virus hit, and then you got an injure, and since I got tier 2 real fast, I'm able to break this wall to try and extract some value out of the chases in the middle later. So I decide to commit to the chase on Sable Ward and end up finding Jake again, who hasn't healed, and end up getting the first down and hook of the match. So the core idea behind any build, or well, any kind of killer gameplay really, is to keep survivors off of generators as much as you possibly can. And the best way to do this is through hooks. So if you got somebody hooked, now they can't work on generators, obviously. And then you're gonna have one person that's gonna have to go and unhook that survivor. So that's 2 people off of gens. And then you're hopefully going to enter into a chase, and that's 3 people off of generators. Now, specifically the idea behind running Nurse's Calling and what that adds to this equation is that by the time that you finish your second chase, the person you initially hooked is presumably unhooked at this point and are off healing somewhere. And now, with the help of a Nurse's Calling, you are going to be able to find those people and initiate yet another chase and keep the pressure going and keeping that 3-person off of generators loop going. So I think one of the main problems, specifically for this game, in reference to running like a Nurse's Calling, is that chases like this happen, where I end up getting flashlit and, I don't finish up that second chase. So by the time they're unhooking, I'm not in position to extract value from a Nurse's Calling. And I end up in chases like these where I'm, like a dog, just chasing cars, as they say. You get distracted. When there's several survivors running around, I don't have like an idea of who to go for. And maybe that's something you should have. Just tunnel in on one person that you think you can catch and then just go for that one. I end up getting 2 downs for my trouble, which is great. And, here we go. We're going to try and reset the cycle. We got the 1 hook going right now, and we're going to try to initiate the second chase. Now, there are 2 people injured, so hopefully I should be able to extract some value from a Nurse's Calling, and here they go, heal, but I end up finding them before Nurse's Calling can get any actual value, so That's the limitation of the perk, where it's supposed to give you information, but if it's already giving you information that you already have, then it's useless. And speaking of useless perks, you will notice that 3 out of the 4 perks that I'm currently running is not getting any kind of value right now. So it's pretty front-loaded when you run Lethal Pursuer and Corrupt Intervention, where you need to get early value because these perks run out pretty quickly. And I haven't been kicking generators to proc corruption. So that, in conjunction with the fact that I'm not getting any value out of a Nurse's Calling, essentially means that I'm running this perkless. So here I go with no hooks going on, chasing someone. I end up getting blinded. Now, if survivors manage to extend the chase when you got no hooks and you're not getting them down like this, it is really bad news, because they're gonna be allowed time to heal up and essentially reset the game. As I mentioned before, without the initial power of the perks that I had in the beginning of the game, if you lose momentum in the mid game like this, it's really hard to get it back. So at this point of the game, you really need to get a kill in order to keep the pressure up. So I got the hook, and now I'm trying to initiate the plan. I end up seeing some scratch marks, and we end up following this dude. Still not getting a lot of information off of a Nurse's Calling. And, you know, end up missing the whip. But this is fine since we got a hook. And just gotta keep chasing him and hopefully get a down, or at least an injure. You see the zombie spotting someone over there, and they're heading towards the hook. And this is not the chase you really want to go for. You want to chase one of the people going for generators, not the one going for the hook, because that is going to create more pressure. And because I do this, you have 2 people that are uninjured that are able to just completely work generators throughout all of this time. So that is not a good thing. I end up chasing both of them. One of them were on the hook, the Neo was on the hook, and this dude was the rescuer. And I end up getting the rescuer down, and rather than pick him up, I decide to go for Nia. I probably should have picked him up right here, and I get tunnel visioned and sidetracked off of this guy. So, oh, here's a dude on a generator, and I end up chasing him. So what I should have done is pick up Renato. You see, he just got healed by his friend. So I should have picked him up, hooked him, then let Nia run away, because she probably wants to heal. She's got a couple of hook states on her, and she doesn't want to tank any more hits, and then go and find somebody off of the generators. That way I would have been able to create more pressure, but rather than doing that, I end up downing Renato without picking him up, and that means that somebody's going to be able to heal him and then heal him again, so he's essentially reset at this point. And I initiate the chase, which takes a very long time, and that means that there are currently now 3 people that are just working generators, just cranking them, and I am slowly losing grip and momentum of this game. So I end up getting tunnel visioned by this guy, and I'll just keep chasing him, and he'll throw down the pallets. Eventually I get the hook on him, but at this point it's too late, and I feel like this was the big mistake of the game, where I didn't initially hook Renato and start like the chain that I described earlier, where you got one person running towards the hook and you're chasing one person and keeping them off generators, which results in 3 people off of gens. I let that pressure go, and early game it was easier to do that because I had 2 perks going at it, and you know, now I have no perks helping me out with that. So anyway, I end up tunneling Renato down and taking him out of the game, which at this point is way too late. I needed to get a kill earlier, or I needed to keep the pressure up, as I've been talking about. But, you know, getting back to the topic of a Nurse's Calling, which is what this is about. In this game, I don't feel like I got any kind of value out of a Nurse's Calling, and that is likely due to a number of factors. I think that primarily it's because I didn't play this out correctly. I ended up getting completely distracted by the wrong target. I didn't keep in mind kind of the target priority of who I needed to go for and why I needed to go for them. I just kind of chased people and then went around looking for, oh, is there a Nurse's Calling anywhere? Anywhere? And I ended up finding no one. So rather than incorporating it, or the perk, into my regular gameplay, I just tunneled in on a Nurse's Calling. Light enough. So I do not like a Nurse's Calling. I don't think it's a good perk. I really don't think it's a good perk. I feel like you get kind of anecdotal value off of it. Like sometimes, you know, but oftentimes when they're healing, you know, you're going for them anyway. So I don't know, I feel like it's a perk that's kind of lost to time. So that was a Nurse's Calling, and based on my current understanding of the game, I am going to place a Nurse's Calling squarely in the lost to time ? Section of the tier list. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much. Please consider dropping a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon.